The Peaceful Mother. Hello and welcome to The Peaceful Mother, where I empower you to go from reactive parenting to proactive parenting, helping you heal old wounding and teaching you how to regulate your nervous system so that you can show up as the peaceful parent that you aspire to be. I'm Emily. I am a parenting coach, a trauma recovery coach, and I am author of The Angry Mom's Guide to Self-Regulation. You may already know me from my social media pages. Whether you are new here or not, I am so glad that you decided to click on this video. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe so that we can get this channel and all of the content that I put out there available to as many parents in need as possible. Thank you. Let's get into this. I am back. I know it's been a while since I put out a video between the holidays and my personal life. It has been a little wild and hectic on my schedule, so I apologize for taking so long to get a video out there. One of my New Year's goals is to focus a little more of my attention on this channel now that I have gotten some of my other projects done with my business. I am moving states now, so that's going to be a little hectic, but my goal is to get more content out for you more regularly. So stay tuned for all of that. All right, so today I am going to be I'm going to be giving you 6 tips for really nurturing and kind of building body safety. Now, why am I doing this? Why do we need body safety? Why is this important? Well, in my next video, I'm going to be talking about, giving you tips on how to really start identifying your emotions and then actually just sitting with your emotions, allowing for your emotions before we even get to the point of regulation. And I'll get into why that is, in more detail in the next video. But before we do that, we want to feel safe in feeling those emotions. Now, a lot of people are coming to this work after years of emotional suppression. And there's no shame in that. We have very good reasons for emotional suppression, but it's also not healthy. It's not serving us. It's making us sick. And those emotions do come out, whether we like it or not. And when we suppress our emotions, they usually come out in some kind of destructive or toxic way. So I think all of you listening to this, watching this, are probably here because you want to approach your children's big emotions and their challenging behaviors in a different way than what you experienced. And you want to kind of break cycles of suppression or destructive anger, things like that. And so it's really difficult to help our young children with their really big emotions and all of the challenging expressions of those emotions, if we don't know how to do that ourselves. So we want to really identify what we're feeling and we want to sit with it before we even get to a point of like, what do I need to regulate? Because emotions are messages. They have really important messages for us, and I'll get into that a little more next week. But the big thing to understand is that emotions are a mind-body experience. They're neurophysiological reactions that, then elicit that behavioral response. And we want those behavioral responses to be positive and productive. And so we need to understand that emotions are in the body primarily, and we need to be safe in feeling that. A lot of us are coming to this where we were taught as young children, whether our parents meant to teach us that or not, that feeling emotions, experiencing emotions, expressing emotions is not okay. It's unacceptable. It's unsafe. You're not going to be loved. You're not going to be given attention. All kinds of negative things that we might have learned as children around emotions, whether our parents were well-meaning and awesome, or not. That's just kind of what traditional parenting tends to teach children. So I'm going to give you 6 tips on how to start really building and nurturing body safety. So let's get into those tips. All right, so tip number 1, we want to set the stage for this type of work. And so that means that we need a safe, preferably uninterrupted environment for doing this work and for, really sitting with those emotions when we get to that point. So, make sure you're comfortable. Don't do this in your cubicle at work. You want to be in the comfort of your home or maybe your car. I don't know, wherever is comfortable for you. You want to be uninterrupted. Hopefully your kids are asleep or your partner has them or your mom has them or something. Allow for the safety of the environment to, influence the work that you're doing here. So safe, uninterrupted, comfortable space. Tip number 2 is grounding or anchoring. You can choose whichever word you like. I'm going to call it grounding for now. It's basically the same thing. There's several ways that one can ground. I'm going to give you just a couple simple ways that we can do that. So one of the ways that I really enjoy grounding is just a butterfly hug. So you're kind of create your little butterfly body here. You've got your wings and you're fluttering against your chest. This is making contact with the body. It's tapping you into your body. You're breathing. Close your eyes if you need to. And just recognize that this is where you're at right here in this body, in this space, right now. This is where you are. Now, if you want another way to ground, I have a wonderful video on my website available for free that will guide you through a visualization process. It's kind of like a guided visual meditation, and it's totally for free. I'll put it in the description below. I created it as one of the tutorials that goes with my book, but it's available for anybody. So again, in the description below, and it's a guided kind of meditative visualization. Some people really prefer that, especially if they're new to this kind of work. Listen to that a few times, and then you can do it on your own after that. And so that's going to really help you visualize you kind of grounding into the earth, grounding into the space that you're in. So again, check that out. It's in the description. Tip number 3, another way that we can kind of create, nurture, foster that body safety for us is to, we're going to kind of, there's 2 ways that you can do this. So you can kind of squeeze your body, or you can kind of tap it with your hand, kind of making a cup, and you can kind of tap it. So whatever feels good for you. I'm going to just do squeezing. I like the squeezing. And you're just going to start kind of squeezing your body. And actually, let's just start with one limb. So you're going to start squeezing your upper arm, and you're going to look at your arm as you squeeze if you can. And you're going to say, "This is my arm. My arm belongs to me. I am safe in my body, feeling my arm." And we'll move down, and you'll just keep squeezing, and you'll look again, and you'll say, "This is my arm. My arm belongs to me. I am safe in my body, feeling my arm." And you'll go down your arms more, and you'll just continue that. If you need to pause this video to continue, then that's what you can do, and you'll continue down your other arm. You can kind of do the same thing, kind of squeezing your chest, and work down your body, your legs, your feet, do your head, squeezing your head. Obviously, you're not going to be able to look at this part of your body unless you're in front of a mirror. That's okay. You can still say, "This is my neck. My neck belongs to me. I am safe in my body, feeling my neck." And you'll repeat that process throughout your body. So again, pause this video if you need to and complete that exercise. All right, tip number 4 is breath work. Now, there's a lot of different types of breath work that we can do to, actually regulate ourselves, but also just to get us in touch with our bodies and foster that safety. But I'm just going to go over a few breaths with you today. And one of them is called the VU breath. Now, there's lots of different variations of this. This one is, I believe, Dr. Peter Levine is the one who came up with this one. For kids, there's some variations, bumblebee breathing or snake breathing, that are very similar. The idea really is that you're breathing in, and as you release, you're creating sound. So it's like a sound release breath. And so we'll go ahead and do the VU breath together, and then I'll just kind of explain how you can transfer this into, something your kids might enjoy. And if you enjoy the kid versions too, that's totally great. And the reason why this is so impactful is that sound release, the vibration that we're making here in our throats, it just really helps, on top of the breathing that we're doing, really helps to activate and kind of soothe the vagus nerve, which is the largest cranial nerve running through the body. Really, really important for nervous system regulation. So we're going to take a deep breath in through our nose for a count of 4, and then we will exhale while we're saying VOO. It's going to sound silly, and we want this to really come from the throat. It's going to be a very throaty sound. It might feel silly. That's okay. If you're alone in the room, don't worry about it. Nobody's watching you. And then we're going to exhale for as long as it takes to kind of empty out our lungs. So let's go ahead and get started. So all right. I will admit that I felt silly doing that on camera, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. You can laugh at me if you need to. I am happy to give you laughter, because that is also so regulating and wonderful. So anyway, using the VOO breath for kids or for yourself, bumblebee breathing is going to be the same idea, except that you're going to buzz out instead of VOO. You're going to say bzzz, your breath out. Snake breathing, again, you're breathing in and then you're hissing out the sound. So it's hiss like a snake. So those are fun. My daughter loves those. She's 4.5, so they're pretty fun. The next breath that I'm going to go over with you is the, I call it the one more sip long exhale. There's different names for it. We're going to take a deep breath in through our nose for a count of 4. Then we're going to just kind of take one more sip of breath in, and then we're going to exhale for a count of 8, or as long as it takes to empty out our lungs for, and this is going to be through the mouth. So let's get started. It's going to be all right. And our last breath that can help us really foster that safety for us is just balanced breathing. Now, I do have, again, these are great for kids, but they're great for adults too. If you're new to breath work, I do have a workbook available on my website. I'll put it in the description below. And this one, it's called Emotion Regulation for Kids. And there's all these different shapes. And so there's all these different breath exercises where you or your children can trace the shapes for these different breath techniques. The bumblebee and the snake is also in there. So there's lots of different tutorials in there. But anyway, if you feel like you need that support, that help in balanced breathing, there is a star in there that you can trace. Otherwise, it's really just about breathing in for a count of 4, breathing out for a count of 4, breathing in for a count of 4, breathing out for a count of 4, and doing that, 5 to 7 times, or as long as you need, as long as it takes for you to feel that safety or feel that regulation. So it's like that. All right, tip number 5 for really fostering connection and safety with the body is it's self-hug with some affirmations or some mantras. So whichever word you prefer, whatever you kind of sits with you better. So you're going to take one hand and put it under your armpit, and then you're going to take your other hand and cup it around your shoulder, or your arm just below the shoulder. So this is the self-hug. And you can breathe here for a moment. So we're really making connection with the body. Now your body's gonna get the same benefits of getting a hug from a loved one. And then we're gonna, come up with some affirmations. If you wanna borrow mine, or if you wanna kind of sit down and really reflect on what resonates for you, look online, whatever works for you, write them down if you need to. I like to set them, in places around the house when I'm trying to really shift my mind in a new direction or come up with a new habit. But we're just going to kind of simple, I am safe in my body. All feelings are welcome and are safe. This is my body. I am in control of it. My body is my friend. These emotions have important messages for me, and I am safe enough to listen. We're breathing You can squeeze as hard or as gentle as you need. And you're repeating your affirmations or your mantras. All right, so tip number 6, as you can see, I am in a new position. So find a comfortable space on the floor, and if you're not already on the floor, and we're gonna do a couple different kinds of rocking. And so the first way, you're gonna have your knees crisscross applesauce. And if you can, if you cannot, that's okay. We're gonna go over another one in just a moment. So crisscross applesauce, and we're just gonna start kind of moving our bodies around. So when you're forward, you're arching. As you go back, it's kind of like doing cat-cow. So we're arching and then hunching, not with your neck. That was a little too necky for me. And so we're just gonna start doing this, and you're kind of moving your hips up off the ground as you're doing this. And this is really bringing you into your body. It's releasing your hips. And then go the other way. Really helping you get back into that parasympathetic. All right, so for our next one, we are gonna be laying on the ground. I definitely recommend having a yoga mat or a carpet, a rug, something underneath you, not just a hardwood floor. So go ahead and get down on the ground if you can. You're gonna extend your arm out in front of you and lay your head there. Your knees are bent, and you're just gonna start rocking. Your hand is here on the ground in front of you, and you're rocking. You're breathing. All right. Now, I'm not going to do it with you, but I do recommend pausing this video, flipping over, doing that for about 15 seconds on your other side as well. And then come meet me back here because I've got one more rocking movement for you. All right, last but not least, you can do this in a chair. You can do this sitting on the ground. You can do this standing. This is the most simple way of doing it, and it's really just rocking yourself back and forth, back and forth. Now, rocking is a very powerful way of getting ourselves back into our parasympathetic nervous system. There's a reason why our babies and our young children, maybe our older children too, love to be rocked. There's a reason it's soothing. Brings us into our body, back into the parasympathetic, and it lets us know we're safe. Gives us that feeling of safety. So there you have it, 6 different ways that you can get in touch with your body a little bit more and start to really foster and build those feelings of safety in the body. Now, I would love to know from you in the comments, which of those was working for you, which of those was not. Maybe you need a couple days to go practice. Meet us back here. Let me know in the comments what's really working for you. What's helping you feel safe and connected in your body? I'd love to know. Thank you so much.